Hi, it's Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be doing the handover demonstration on the Elddis Signature 175, which is part of our signature range, which is exclusive to Tyne Valley Motorhomes. So if we start on the driver's side of the vehicle, you've got your external shower point here. So this is a cold water feed shower, and the hose is inside. You simply pull the bung off, and then it's just like a hose pipe end which connects into here, and then on the other end you do have a trigger gun with that sprays the shower. So you can use that for the bikes, the boots, the dogs, the kids. It's great after you've been on a beach. You've got your fresh water intake here, so this opens with a small little key. So this key here, it'll unlock and lock this flap, and you'd slide them up, so you don't pull them off, you slide them up, and then you'd put a hose pipe in there until either it overflows or until you're happy there's enough water on board. So you may want to go and buy yourself a hose pipe, as most sites are just brass taps, so you'll need a couple of hose pipe connectors and a hose pipe. Underneath you've got your two drain off points. So you've got your grey, which is your wastewater, so anything you've put down a plug hole in the van, shower, hand basin or sink, goes to a separate holding tank, and you normally drive over a grid and let that drain off like so. And then you've got your blue, which is your fresh water. So if you've put too much in, you've taken on contaminated water, or you're winterizing the vehicle, obviously you don't want to leave any water in the vehicle, so this would be open, that would get open, and you'd open the boiler and all the taps within the van, and that is just your fresh water. Coming further back is your cassette loo. So, and again, all your exterior lockers open with the Trimark key, which is the squarish key, which has got Trimark on. And then this is your cassette loo. So your toilet's behind there, this is where it all ends up, in the cassette loo. And to get out, lift the orange T-piece handle, make sure the blade's closed on the ball of the toilet inside, and you'll be able to lift it out and it'll come out. Got a handle on there for carting it off to the waste disposal site, and they're empty. You take the grey handle off, which is actually a measuring cap for your liquid. When you come to once you've cleaned it and top it up with chemical, you can put a cap full straight in, which I'll tell you in a minute. And they're empty. You'd press this button here, empty it out. Once you've emptied it out, there's normally a tap beside the waste disposal point. Put some water in, give it a shake around, empty again, and then this is where you'd fill it with the chemical. If you're using the liquid, a cap full straight into there, the blue or the green, it's ready to use. If not, what you would do is you put a pint of water in, and then you'd put a tablet, so it's a special toilet tab, Fetford toilet tab, down the toilet, and then it'll break up into the liquid in the box. At the back of the vehicle, you've got your high level brake light and reversing camera, which is actually a rear view camera, so when you're driving forward you can always see behind you as well. And then you've got your bike rack bars here, so if you ever fit a bike rack to the vehicle, this is where the body of the back panel has been strengthened to take the weight. And then moving further along, you've got your external, so this is a passenger side of the vehicle. You've got your external barbecue point, which runs off the gas on board, so you've got that little gas hose there, so the spigot which clips on the bottom of here. You'll need some gas pipe, a couple of Jubilee clips to power the Caddock or external barbecue, and then you turn on and off with the red tap, and that takes a feed from the gas in on board. So this is your gas locker, LPG, liquid petroleum gas. And in here you can fit two 6 kilogram bottles. So I've got a 6 kilogram on for demonstration purposes at the moment. So you'd always make sure that it is strapped in before you start traveling. Turn on and off at the top of the bottle, obviously turn it off when you are on the road. And to get the pigtail on the bottle, it's a left hand thread. And then to operate the habitation door, so you have to manually lock it. So you'd get the round headed key and you'd put that in, open to the back, to the front is locked. You've got your fridge vents, and in here, so this opens with a Trimark key as well. You open it up, this is your leisure battery, your 12-volt leisure battery, and your hookup point. So, to hook the vehicle up, pull the collar back and slide it on, and then to unhook you slide it off. And below you do have a 3-pin plug, which is great if you want to power something in the awning or out on the exterior of the vehicle. You've got a plug there so you can put an extension or plug it in there, and then always put the lead through here, through the groove, and then you can lock this locker, and you've got your leisure battery there as well. And then further down, so the other locker that looks identical is just storage underneath your front bench seats. So you've just got storage in there. And then at the passenger door you do have your diesel filler, which opens with the main ignition key. So this key here opens this. You fill with diesel and then you lock it back up. And then below, because it's a Euro 6 compliant engine, it's got AdBlue solution. So that's a 20-litre tank, and it will indicate between the fuel gauge and the temperature gauge when it needs it. And it's normally anything between 5,500 to 6,000 miles. So you might only need to do this once a year, top it up, but you can get this at most service stations on the pump, or you can buy it in the 10-litre drums and top it up. Coming into the front passenger door, you've got your tyre pressures. So 5 bar on the front, which is 72.3 psi, or 5.5 bar on the back, which is 79.5 psi, and that's been set for camping tyres. Underneath the passenger seat is your toolkit, so it's got a jack and a brace and a tone eye. And underneath the floor is where your main engine battery lives. So if you ever needed to change the engine battery in the future, it comes out through the floor. And then you do have your bonnet release on the side of the dashboard there. Secondary catch in the middle, just above the below the Peugeot badge. And then you do have your various liquids. So you've got your brake fluid, coolant, power steering fluid, which this lifts off the top up. Main one you're going to need is your screen wash. You've got your oil filler and your oil dipstick for checking your levels. Your paint code, your weight, so 3.5 ton. If you were to put a tow bar on this, you can tow 2 ton behind you, but it can't exceed 5.5 ton. And you've got your SGE number, which is unique to each vehicle of an Elddis, and this is your build number. So should you ever need any parts from us or a warranty claim, quote that number, and then we'll be able to quote it to Elddis, and they'll know exactly what your vehicle is. This is your earth for your black jump lead to go on there, and then your positive will just, you put the key in and lift this cover, your positive will just clip onto there, and that's your positive for a jump start, for giving or receiving a jump start. And then when we step into the vehicle, these are your 2 main control panels. So you've got your main 12-volt control panel, and you've got your heating and hot water control panel. So I'll start off with the top one, which is your electrical control panel. So you've got your on-off button here, which will either give you 12-volt if you're just on your leisure battery, but if you're hooked up you will have 240, so you'll be able to use any 3-pin plugs within the vehicle. You've got your tap, which is your pump, which you must have on to use any taps, toilets or shower or exterior shower to surface and prime the water. You've got your main master switch for your lights, and then they all are individually switched, and you've got your awning light, which is above your habitation door there. Coming to these two, these are your level indicators of your leisure battery and fresh water. So there's your leisure battery reading, and there's your fresh water. If the water was to ever show empty when it's full, as the sensors can sometimes jump out of sync, what you need to do is to program them. You press and hold. So first of all, make sure that there's enough water on board, so brim it with water until it's overflowing out underneath the van, and that's when you know it is definitely full. Then you would press and hold. It'll indicate that it's full, and then what you need to do is press the water again, and then that calibrates it, and then now it's showing that we've got a full tank of water on board. You've got your lights for above the lounge there, and then below you've got your hot water on the top and your heating of the vehicle on the bottom. So Start from scratch, they're off. You've got one wiggly line which is 1 kilowatt of electric, which you may have to use abroad or on a smaller CL site. You've got 2 kilowatts, which is 2 wiggly lines of mains electric when hooked up, which you can use on most camping and caravanning sites throughout the UK. You've got gas on its own, which you'd use if you were wild camping and you weren't hooked up. You've got gas and 1 kilowatt, which you'd use if you were again on a smaller CL site and you were limited to electric but you wanted to heat your water quicker. You can put both sources on together, but the main one you'd use if you were in that desperate of hot water, you'd use gas and 2 kilowatts. So it's 2 sources together. It obviously doubles the heating time, obviously because it's 2 sources together, so the water will become hotter a lot quicker. And then below you've got the same for your heating, so you've got 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts of electric, 3 kilowatts of electric, gas only if you're wild camping, so the gas flame on its own, gas and 2 kilowatts, which you'd use again if you are away in the winter and it was really cold. You can get the van to temperature within 20 minutes on this, and then what you'd do is if you were on a site, don't bother wasting your gas, just turn it back to 2 kilowatts of electric to carry on. Plus and the minus is the temperature. Very top's 30, middle's about 15 degrees, and then should you once you've had the heating on, you need to turn it off and you'll hear the fans running. Wait until the fans go completely silent before you turn this off, otherwise this boiler will fail as you are not allowing the boiler to do its full cycle, and you may get a exclamation mark down the side here. And whatever has failed, you press whatever's failed. So say the hot water failed, you press the hot water and you'd press the plus button together, press and hold until that light went out, or if it was the heating and the hot water, you'd press and hold until the light went out, and that is how you'd reset your boiler. To lock your habitation door on an evening, you just lift the handle up and then you'd lift it all the way down and the door will open. To operate your domestic fridge, you'd turn on here, so you'd press and hold until you can turn on, and then you have the choice of 3 sources. So you've got the plug, which is mains 240 hookup, you've got gas, which you'd use if you're wild camping and you weren't hooked up, and it automatically lights, so you'll hear it clicking away until it ignites on gas. And then you've got the battery, which will fail at the moment because this is only for when the engine is running. It's designed to keep the temperature the same when you depart it. So the idea here is if you're lucky enough to keep this at home, or you're touring from one site to another and you've got a full load of shopping in there that's nice and chilled, you'd put it onto battery and it'll keep the shopping fresh for no matter how long you travel. But if you keep it at home, what you'd do is you'd put the fridge on day or 2 before you went away, hook it up, put the fridge on, put the shopping in the night before, allow that to cool overnight, and then as soon as you're ready to travel, you put it on, and it's a feed from the engine alternator battery, not the leisure battery. And then you've got your temperature here, so 5 bars being the coolest, and then this is just a reset button. In there you do have your large freezer box, which is removable should you ever need to remove it, with the tabs underneath. And then once you've used the van and you're putting it to bed for the winter, if you, or for any length of time, if you always take your shopping out, any remaining shopping out of here, obviously clean it out. Last thing you want to do is to leave the door shut, as it forms an airtight barrier. So if you just press this little toggle, brings these tabs out, and then if you look, the door is now allowing air in and out of the fridge. Above you've got your microwave, which again is only a 240 microwave, so you've got to be hooked up to use it. And the plug for it is up here, so you can isolate it should you ever need to isolate it or get it replaced. And you've got your solar panel charger there, so that's just your regulator for your solar panel, and it's indicating that it's charging battery 1, which is your leisure battery. In the kitchen area you've got a full oven and hob. So what you'd need, so you've got 3 gas burners like so, and then we've got this one over here, the 3 lit. If you've had the gas off for any length of time, always bring it through on the hob first, and then your other appliances will light, like your boiler, your heating and hot water, your fridge, as this is the highest point in the van and it primes the lines for the gas. If you've had it on, allow it to cool before you put the glass lid down, and you've got your hot plate there, which is this one. On mains electric, only when you're hooked up, but do be careful that you haven't knocked this when the lid's down, as it will smash the glass with the heat, so just do be careful. And then below you've got your grill, so your grill's lit there. Obviously take your grill pan and oven shelf out when you're travelling, or wrap them up, as they can cause some noise when you're on the road. And with your oven shelves, always make sure if you've taken them out, you don't put the flat side to the back. Always put the two tabs to the back, as this stops any food going into the burner of the gas. And then to light your oven, there you are, your oven's lit. And underneath the oven you've got a gas tap to isolate the oven, but if you've got any problems with gas, turn it off at the bottle. You'll have various gas taps around the van. There'll be one underneath here for the fridge, and one under there for the water heater. And you've got the plug for the main electric hot plate should you ever need to isolate. So now in the washroom, as long as the pump's on, you'll be able to press this button here and flush the toilet. And then what you need to do is you need to open the blade, so this grey lever to the right, and obviously drops the waste into the cassette. It must be closed to get the cassette out, otherwise it won't come out the exterior of the vehicle. So make sure it is closed. But to use the toilet, what you do is you flush, which will lubricate the blade. Open it up, use the toilet, flush the toilet after use, and close the blade. And then this will go red to indicate that it's full and needs emptying. Toiletry cabinet above, your sink plug just pushes in and out. Obviously you've got a full shower cubicle there, and part of winterizing as well, if you take your shower head off and allow this hose to lie in here flat instead of having loops in, leave all the mixer taps open in the middle position, so the shower, the wash basin, the kitchen tap. And it stops any water lining the lines of the pipes and allows it to dribble out. In your wardrobe as well, this is where your fold away table lives, so it's just like an ironing board. You just pull the legs up. You can either put that in the front or you can put it outside if it's a nice day. And you've got your awning, winder handle and rafter bar, which goes in the centre of the awning to give it more strength, but I'll show you the awning when we're outside. Also next to the fridge, underneath the passenger bench seat, underneath the little door, is your fuse board. So you've got all your fuses on mains electric, so should you have tripped the van out, you can try here before you try your main site. And then you've got all your 12 volt fuses, standard blade fuses, which are all marked up what they are. So it would be a good idea to carry some spares. And you've got a small rocker switch down here, which is your winter pack, so you can turn that on and off. And what that does is it puts a current through the water should it be a cold night and it's going to freeze overnight. Turn them on and it'll stop the water from freezing in the tanks. But like I says, if the vehicle is standing for any length of time in the winter where it's cold, drain the van down. Safest way to do so. And underneath the driver's side bench seat is your drain down for your boiler. So this is your drain down. So what you do is, once it's at the back of the vehicle, it's holding water. Once it's across the vehicle, it is letting the water out directly underneath the chassis. All that 10 litres of water is draining off. So come in with no power on and turn that to the side of the vehicle, and it will drain all the water off. Otherwise, if the water does freeze in the boiler, it's very expensive to repair and it's not covered under warranty, as it's your responsibility to drain the vehicle down. Now, operate your cello TV that this customer has asked to be fitted by us. You turn on and off here. You've got your source where you can change it from DTV, which is a digital TV, to DVD should you not be getting a signal in your area. But to retune, all you need to do is go to the menu, which is here, and then you go down, auto tune, press OK, UK, and it'll find as many digital channels as it can in your area. Your TV aerial is above the telly, So what you need to do is loosen it off should you be struggling to get a signal, push it up, and then you can use the collar to turn and direct the aerial. But when travelling, you've got to make sure it's flat and it's securely pulled down and tightened up. And then you've got a booster here, so you can either loosen or boost the signal should it be too strong or too weak. To operate your windows, what you need to do is pull all the levers out, push the window out, and then to keep it out, you just tighten these on both sides, which will keep the window out. And then you'd obviously loosen them off. Which will then allow the window to come in, and then make sure that it is securely fastened before you do start travelling, along with the skylights, as these are just plastic and a good gust of wind will just rip them off the vehicle, and they're very expensive to replace, so just do be careful. And then you've got a fly screen and a blackout blind. And to open this skylight, so you just, same as the windows, loosen the tabs off, push the skylight out, it's on a gas strut, or you can use the bar and put the bar into here and turn these, which locks the bar into place to allow a good bit of ventilation in the summer. You do have a fly screen and a blackout blind, which just clip together, and then you can unclip them and pull them apart. All your little reading lights are individually switched on the small rocker switch on the sides. And then with the beds, you've got either two options. On the 175, you can use them as a single bed, or you can pull them together by lifting up, sliding the lats out, meeting this slat in the middle, so you do both sides. Obviously lift them up if you've got the carpets down, as they can catch on the carpets with them being a new van. And then what you do is you'd use the backrest, put that into the middle like so, and put that one in the middle. So you put this one in the middle as well. Squeeze it in so it doesn't move. But then I'd also turn the base cushions upside down as well to the backs, as it's a far more flatter surface, more comfy to sleep on, and you can put a fitted sheet on there. And then there's your bed across the van. This skylight at the front, you can manually wind it open, but it must be shut when you are travelling, even though it's above the cab. It's not a sunroof, it's only for when you're parked up. And you've got a blackout blind and a fly. So now in the cab, to the right of me, is the handbrake. You've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments, which shows the top mirror and the blind spot on both sides. Your Remus car blinds, which you'd pinch with your thumb and your finger, slide the fronts down to black this side and that side out. And then for this one, you just pinch, slide them out, slide them along the rail. Do the same this side. Pull that up, slide that out, so it just cuts around the mirror. And then they are just magnetic, so I'd get an elastic band or bobble if it's going to be a blustery, windy night, put round there so it stop it pinging open. But you do also have the curtains, which you can put round as well. Obviously in the winter it's better that you put the curtains round, because it's more of a thermal insulation, as these are just paper blinds to concertina away. This gives it a bit more warmth. And you've got your headlight adjustment here, rear fogs, and this turns off the start stop. You've got your wipers and your trip computer. Hands free, this will scroll through your contacts or your radio channels or media songs off your phone or a memory stick. You've got your volume and mute. Indicators, your lights are automatic, but you can manually put them on as well, so it's A, automatic. Cruise control off, speed limiter, and then you would set by pushing up and holding's 5, pushing up slow is 1. It goes up in 1s or 5s. 6-speed manual gearbox with lifter collar and up for reverse, but this is a rear view camera, so it's always on. You've got your ASR off switch, another word for basically turn your traction control off. So if you're on a wet pitch or you're driving in the snow or anything with a motorhome, you can turn that off to stop it spinning if it's not very good on traction. You've got your hazards, and then you've got your padlock, which locks your 2 carb doors, heated mirrors if they're wet, USB for charging and 12 volt for charging. You've got a glove box here, and you've also got a glove box on the top which is heated and cooled by the air conditioning. So if you've got anything in the summer and the aircon's on cold, you can put little bits in there to stop getting up from the fridge. You've got a USB for streaming purposes, so you can connect to the radio system. Temperature on the outside ring and fan speed on the in must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon button to come on. Distribution where you want the air to go to, and you can either bring fresh air in or recirculate it within the vehicle. So you've got your radio, which is FM, DAB and AM. So you've got your media, which is a USB through here, or Bluetooth audio, and you can pair your phone by going to phone, connect phone, enter, find my car on your smartphone and your Bluetooth connections, make sure the pins match, press pair, then it will ask you if you want to download your contacts. Just press pair, yes, and then when you go to phone, you can scroll through either on here or on here through your contacts before you press ring. Above you do have a fold up thing here, so you can put your paperwork, or you can open it up and put your sat nav in there and lock it into place. We would like to thank you for purchasing your motorhome from Tyne Valley Motorhomes. Should you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us on 01207 272 777 or email our sales department at sales@tynevalleymotorhomes.co.uk. Alternatively, if you've come across this video and you like the look of the 175 signature and you're interested in spec and prices, you can contact our sales department and our sales team will be more than happy to help you.